Fast forward, you come our channel you so AGH Politics Avenue. On your podcast or say training make headlines. And your jembre na EDB exum ewa need him near Braxi must ene ED Kanyam says so which must subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell so share na for front so answer into me and be need ma on your young queen simu. Now Solomon Osu a communication director Emma a movement for change ene me no ka say omo wachimi aform omo political party enya asem koto akra na okotra New Day so TV3 now Ahmed Swali nipa odi ne wunu ene court isusu say nipa no nse enim bi no papa ejemre na utimi imeki hold a lot of exposés onua enya asem koto akra papa kasa bebre mestre say ensembre ye be konsem ni mu ne ahwene ye ko ene de ba mestre say Utiwia, no will leave you comment under the comment section. Ho edi amame. AGH Politics Avenue. Nyamishra onyo kase se watimi ayanisa edi amame. Yonko yensimu.
Of course, no evidence has been adduced that he was responsible for it. At the end of the day, it could influence opinion or not.
Well, it could, and I'm here listening to my brother Zato complain about politicization of such issues. And he himself ended up doing the very politics that he's accusing Beatrice of doing or former administration of having done, which does not augur well for our political discourse. When I heard Kennedy Japan do what he did in terms of calling out Ahmed Swali, I wasn't happy. Because no matter how you disagree with anybody, you cannot court hatred for the person. Yes, there is no evidence that it was Kennedy Japan that killed him. The police has not established that. But let me say that some of these things, the Ghana Police Service is the institution that is letting us down. And they cannot convince me sitting down here that Ghana as a small country, Accra as a very small city, something of this sort happens. And you tell me since 2019, you have not gotten closer to the murderers. That cannot be something I'll be proud of. Remember, you were in this country in 1998 when Osu Setreki and Ninja, you remember the Taekwondo guy and
the police officer who was buried.
Exactly. Together with Jerry Wonu Tola. They were killed, buried, but the police administration was able to establish where he was. The two were buried. The Ghana Police Service, if they want to be professional, they will be professional. Some of these things, in their own interest, they sit on it. We must call them out. We have had an MP in this country, JB Addo, what's the name? JB Dankwa, killed like a chicken. And as we speak, we don't know the perpetrator of that heinous crime. What are you talking about? If people like this are dying and we cannot apprehend the culprits, then, Roland, what happens to some of us? Because every day we are on television doing advocacy, doing activism. Then, because you say something that is not good for you anyway, death is one, you can do whatever. But the point is that when you are not able to assure the public that something of this sort, the police administration will be able to go closer into it and then get the culprits arrested, then it does not assure any confident. But let me deal with certain specifics. You see, nobody must attempt to paint the Akuffo administration as being holier than thou in these circumstances.
You mean somebody is trying to whitewash them?
That was trying to do that. They were worse. Under the second, they were worse, so worse.
How did you come to those conclusions?
Look, under Akuffo administration, you dared not even speak about the president. You will be arrested. You remember Bulldog?
Bulldog.
He was arrested. Manasseh Azuri had to run for his dear life, run away from this country. Why not in this country? Look,
Manasseh
Azuri had to run away. Erastus Asaredonko, he has been doing all this galamsey, what do you call it? Exposés. Go and ask him the sort of threats he received under the New Patriotic Party. Look, pundits, panelists, they were doing a program on UTV, United Television. Was an entertainment program on Saturday. We had NPP youth who invaded a live show to scatter everything. Why not in this country? Why not in this country? So when we are saying some of these things, we must not try to enter into the realm of politics. the institutions must work. You see, I've had a problem with some of these investigations. Remember in 2007, Samuel Lenin, he was the president of the Ashanti region, GJ. He was murdered in cold blood like that.
Samuel Lenin.
Lenin. Like joke. As we speak, we don't even know the perpetrators of this act. I find it very disturbing that in this country that everybody is a gossiper. That whatever you do, they will gossip. I've told you that if you take out Ethiopia, we are the next gossip, a country that gossips than any country.
They are gossips, yeah.
So how wouldn't you be able to apprehend the culprits?
So you're saying if the police want to do their work,
they know the killers, they must go for them. Whose interests are they protecting?
Now let me ask you a substantive question. Do you think there was a culture of silence or there was a siege atmosphere?
Yes.
In your ability to be able to express yourself?
Yes.
Whether you're a journalist or a public speaker, etc., within the last administration?
No, there was.
Comparable to this?
There was a huge one. Even within the parties, remember 80 people or 88 people said that the former finance minister had to be booted out of office. Go and ask what happened to them. Haven't you heard Andy Appiah say there was an attempt to poison him?
95.
They moved
to
peace. Then peace. Within their own party.
Your former party?
I've left, so now I don't want to. You want to refer me as former party, that tomorrow my party is coming. Please cease referring me to former party. I have moved on.
I apologize.
But the truth of the matter is that I wasn't safe. That is why most of the men in that party became timid, became women in that party. And so when I hear them speak today, some of them speak today, I cringe. I say, where were you in the last 8 years? Look, in the last 8 years, a journalist by name Bismarck Brown, they organized Meet the Press at the Jubilee House. This guy, think he was doing his journalistic business as usual, went and asked a fundamental question about the Ministry of Health. He was hunted out of where he was working. Later on, he found himself hopping from one radio station to the other in Kumasi. Go and see, listen to what happened to the family. Things have happened in this country.
Bismarck Brown.
Bismarck Brown, you can call him. BB. Because the president of the day didn't like the sort of question that was asked. And as though the questions were already planted to journalists, that question became a strange question per arrangement. So the president was like, how can you, who are you to come and ask that question? After that, working with a thinker, he suffered. So the truth of the matter is that it has not been better, but we have to improve upon it. We need to cause our police institution to be...
This recruitment into the various security agencies will be done with a different approach. Speaking in the Akachi North constituency as part of his thank you tour in the Volta region, Těnsǐoň emphasized that Mahama's administration is committed to ensuring regional balance and representation in recruitment process. The NDC chairman also assured party members that government will ensure the Volta region gets the needed development for their continuous support for the NDC. Well, now, for more on this, we're joined by our Volta regional correspondent, Faisal Abdul-Idrisu, who's been with the NDC's national chairman, Johnson Nketia, for the second day of his 4-day tour of the Volta region. Now, Faisal, talk to us. He's telling us that really recruitment into the security services will be on regional basis. What exactly did he mean by that?
Well, the national chairman of the NDC has been speaking on a number of issues while on his tour here in the region. But before I come to that, yesterday, for instance, in the region, and for that matter, the party is committed to bringing the needed development to the region. Then also is the issue of recovering stolen assets. Yesterday in Avedakpa, in the Akachi North constituency, the paramount chief of the area, the Avedakpa traditional area, mentioned that it is important government take critical look at the appointees they have currently so that they do not take advantage of the loopholes and steal from the state. In response to this, Mr. Těnsǐoň indicated that Yes, they know that today they are chasing former appointees, particularly that of the NPP, to recover from them what is supposedly stolen from the state. They know too well that the NPP, when they have the chance and come back to government someday again, they definitely will chase them. And so they are going to make sure that their own appointees do not take advantage of the situation, do not take advantage of our weak systems to steal from the state. But on the issue of recruitment, Mr. Asedu Ketia yesterday indicated that what had been the process in the past was
Oh, it would appear we lost him again. But while we try to reconnect with Faisal Abdul-Idrisu, let's take a listen to the NDC National Chair, Johnson Těnsǐoň.
We also promised to recruit people into our security services. Not just recruit, but to make sure that our security services are properly balanced, properly regionally balanced. We are departing from a system where people are recruited based on their surnames. When there's recruitment, they look at your surname before they decide whether to recruit you. We are doing away with that. And we are making sure that our security services will be properly balanced. So all the recruitments will now take place at regional levels. Already, we have started with the military. Very soon, the other security services will open their portals for registration. Please, those of you who consider yourself capable, you do well to apply.
Well, Faisal, we've just been listening to Těnsǐoň while we try to reconnect with you. We've heard him and his explanation as to why the need for regional bases when it comes to recruitment. But talk to us about the response he's got since he made that remark.
Applause, commendation. A lot of the people here feel that there's an opportunity to get their own stake in government and, of course, in state resources. And as far as the recruitment into the security services are concerned, over time, people express concerns that usually they are profiled ethnically. And from the statement he made yesterday, it appears that he has gone forward to confirm that feeling where people say that because they bear a certain name, they are not recruited, or when they apply, they are not allowed to advance the stages of entering into the security services. So yesterday when he said he made this statement in a catching off constituency, it was applause from the public that gathered yesterday. Party members that were there were happy to have heard that from the NDC National Chairman. But today, he has taken a brief, and I am told he's returning to Accra for a meeting. We'll come back, and then we'll continue the talk tomorrow into the Anglon, Ketha, Tetu South, and so these are the three constituencies left, including the Tong areas where he will be finally before he leaves the region.
Very well, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Faisal Abdul-Idrisu is our Volta region correspondent, sharing highlights of the second day of Johnson Těnsǐoň's two-day tour of the Volta region. And today he's been saying that there will be, or he's promising really, a new recruitment process into our security agencies. He says it will be on a regional basis. Now, let's move away from that and enter into the health sector now, because this afternoon, a former Minister for Health, Dr. Bernard Akuffo, has called out government for what he says is a lack of commitment to completing the ller General Hospital, despite efforts by the past NPP administration to give the project a strong footing. According to him, the NDC government has failed to release even a PESWA to the contractor for the continuation of the project, adding that only 60 million cedis was released in the 2025 budgets. The 130 million speculated by the health minister, he says, is only a dream. Christian Yali is our correspondent on the ground. Let's have a quick chat with him on the back of this. Chris, good afternoon to you. Now, the ller General Hospital has suffered some, so to speak, same history, right? What is the former health minister saying particularly about that?
Yes, and so according to the former health minister, about 2 interim payment certificates, what you call IPCs, were raised at the time by the former administration, totaling some 150 million Ghana cedis, which was paid to the contractor to give the Ller General Hospital a strong footing or start. However, he says from the resumption of office by the current NDC administration, government has failed to release even a peso to the contractor working on the project, which has stalled the project thus far. He is of the view that there has not even been any form of stakeholder consultation with all the major stakeholders, the communities around and the traditional leaders thereof. The former health minister, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, has even stated that when you check or when you look into the 2025 budget, the finance minister allocated only 60 million Ghana cedis for the project and not 130 million Ghana cedis, as was stated by the current health minister when he toured the stalled project last week. And so it is a simple demand from him that government immediately stops all the talking shop to convene some stakeholder meeting and also ensure an early and timely release of funds to the contractor for the project to resume. We can take a listen to what he said.
The project became one of the many casualties of Ghana's domestic debt exchange program, DDEP, which disrupted the financing arrangement and halted funding from the Chinese authorities. To prevent total abandonment, the previous MPP administration took the bold step of continuing the project using Government of Ghana funds. The MPP administration duly honored the IPCs that were raised by the contractor after executing the work. IPCs are certificates or documents a contractor presents when they work. The Akuffo government paid 2 of those IPCs, totaling about 150 million Ghana cedis. That is why the hospital project started off. And when you drive by the coastal road, you can see the project going up in the air. It is regrettable to note that since this current administration, which secured an overwhelming majority of parliamentary seats in Greater Accra, took office, this government has failed to pay a single cedi. Not even 1 Ghana cedis has been paid to the contractor building the Ller General Hospital. It was reported in the news that government had allocated 130 million Ghana cedis towards the completion of the facility. Let me state unequivocally that that amount is only an intention. It is a futuristic allocation, if any. The 2025, the budget that was read by Honorable Akuffo made provision for 60 million Ghana cedis for Ller General Hospital. Since he read the budget in March up to today, out of the 60 million, not even 1 Ghana cedis has been paid for this project.
Well, Chris, also we understand that he touched on Agenda 111 projects. What about that?
Exactly. He's of the view that there are a number of the Agenda 111 projects that have been commissioned and completed. But he's of the view that these hospitals that have been completed and commissioned are still not being used. And so during that presser, he mentioned a number of areas or communities where those hospitals have been completed, yet when you go there, the facilities are not being used. He links this to the recent agitations by the health workers and even those who are still unemployed at home. To quote him directly, he says that health workers, nurses, midwives do not work in the market, they work in the hospitals. And so he's asking the current minister and government as a matter of urgency to prioritize those Agenda 111 hospitals that have been completed and employ the health workers into these hospitals and not politicize healthcare.
As of November 2024, active work was going on at 100 of the sites out of the 114. With 30 of these hospitals, 30 of them having crossed the 70% mark. 70% meaning that within 3 to 6 months, if the NPP were there and the same commitment was happening, in 6 months after January 7, 2025, all these 30 hospitals would have been functioning for Ghanaians within 6 months. 30 out of the 140. 3 hospitals, 3 of these at Echima Kwamoma District Hospital at Trede, Ofoikrom District Hospital at Kokobin, and Ahanta West District Hospital at Gunahanta were actually commissioned. 3 out of these 30 were actually finished with equipment and everything being put inside. But today, because of politics, nobody has even tried to put our health workers into these hospitals. There were 12,000 construction workers across Ghana who were working on Agenda 101. As we speak, all the 12,000 are at home. 1 job, 3 sheets, 3 people. For all these projects, the first shift has gone. So as I speak, it is 0 job, 0 sheets, 0 people.
Chris, what are the demands he's making?
Exactly. He's tailored a number of recommendations, including the availability of funds for both the La General Hospital and also some of the Agenda 111 hospital. He says there are about 30 of them that are at advanced stages that had NPP not gone into opposition, they would have been completed by now. And so he wants government to, prioritize these 30 hospitals that are near completion. But he mentions that when the NPP came into power, they inherited some health facilities from the past NDC administration, like the University of Ghana Medical Center. But Akuffo, the former president, borrowed funds to complete the
we and some who team course watching on the so I'm not so Jim Ewa. That's an S O body and the Adumbi Edumania. Ye besan bo vrem ni asoma kwanso nkoso kra.